Everyone, and welcome back. Now, we all want to have productive days. We all want to have those days where we see that we've achieved much, we've taken steps forward, and we've been the most productive. Yet how often do we end the day not feeling that way at all, rather feeling that we've missed opportunities and haven't achieved what we wanted to do in the day? Well, often this is down to how we've organised or structured our day, and we just let other things get in the way. So today we're going to look at 3 foundations that can help us and make our days more productive and fruitful. And I say foundations because these are things that we need to build on and structure our day around in order to achieve a flow that leads to maximum productivity and maximal fruitfulness. So I guarantee if you follow and put in place some of these things that I'm going to suggest today, that your days will become more fruitful as a result. So we're going to get into things, look at these 3 foundations, and then there'll be my usual one last thing. So the first foundation to put into place to make our days more productive is to leverage the times of day where we have the most energy. Now, we tend to think in terms of time and allocating what we do to that time, but actually not all time, not all hours in the day are equal. There's times of the day where we're better and more productive than others. It's where you get the whole discussion around larks and owls, who's better in the morning and who's better in the evening. So what we need to do is to structure our day and make this a foundation in our day where we are trying to do our most essential and most important things at the times of day where we have the most energy and will be able to be the most creative. So to do this, we need to firstly determine the times of day where we have the most energy. And then secondly, we need to match the tasks and things that we need to do against that energy to make sure that we're using our best times to do the things that are going to take us the greatest steps forward, that are going to achieve the most productivity. Now, in a recent podcast I was listening to, Kerry Newhoff, who's about to launch a new book, was suggesting using 3 zones, green, amber and red, in order to allocate and visualise your day. So I'm just going to take that visualisation, that traffic light process, and just apply it to an example in my day to demonstrate what this could look like. So first, the green zone. So the green zone for me is between 7 in the morning and 12 midday. So that should be used for all of your, if you like, your deep work, where you want to just be, I suppose, kind of left alone, and you want to really focus. If you're writing a book, this is the time where you'd really want to sit down and just focus on writing, focus on the thing that's going to achieve your biggest goals. So that's the green zone, to get your most essential and critical work done. So I call that, it's like the taking step zone, where you're going to move the needle of productivity the furthest. The second is the amber zone. So for me, this is a little bit, I suppose, from 12 till 3, and then probably 5 to 7 in the evening, somewhere around there. So this time is where you want to do those tasks where, we each have everyday tasks that we need to do and get on with. I call them maintenance tasks. So for me, that's where I put those in the amber zone, when it's responding to emails or having meetings or doing things that you can interact with well, but you don't need to be as sharp, I suppose, in terms of creativity. So that's the amber zone. Just to recap, I call that sort of the maintenance zone of things. And then there's the red zone, the times of day where your energy is low and really when you really don't feel like doing anything. So this is the time where you should rest or do the real low energy required tasks in your day. So for me, I call this the rest zone. With my chronic fatigue condition, I really need to make sure that I'm not doing anything in those zones. So it's time to sort of crash out, watch a movie, just listen to podcasts, ones that don't get my mind going. So that's the structure I kind of look at. So The first point really is to make sure you leverage your most energy high times of the day and use them to do your most productive and critical work. So that's point one, or foundation one. So the second foundation to make your day the most productive is to prioritise the core foundations. And what I mean by that is I'm referring to sleep, I'm referring to eating, and I'm referring to exercise. Now, I'm aware that when coaches are trying to improve the performance of people, one of the first things they look at and ask is all about these three things: eating, sleeping, and exercise, and whether the person has got a good rhythm and a good lifestyle in place in order for them to, it's like the real core in order for them to then perform really well. And so often we find that we're trying to achieve all these big things and be productive and all of that, but then these core foundations are not being looked after and worked through well. So what do we do about it? Well, I think we have to be really real with ourselves and acknowledge where we're at. Are we getting 8 hours of sleep a night? Are we exercising regularly, 30 minutes plus a day? Are we eating the right foods that are going to bring us energy into our day rather than sap it and make us feel tired? Now, these can seem really simple, but so many of us, including myself over time, haven't looked at making these core things that we place, if you like, at the front of the queue. So an example for me would be my chronic fatigue, and exercise is really, really hard. But in recent months, over the last 6 to 12 months, I've decided, right, I'm going to put exercise in my green zone, where I've got the most energy, because exercise is perhaps the most difficult for me, but I want to prioritise it. I want to make sure that it's there in my rhythm of life. So the second point really then, just to recap, is to make sure the core foundation of sleeping, eating and exercise is in place and you're prioritising it in your day. So the third foundation to make your day the most productive is to make sure you are being clear on what the most important task or activity is for you each day. Now, I call this the one thing task, if you like. So if you could achieve just one thing in that day, what would that be? And you put that first and foremost, front and centre, in terms of what you're doing in the day. Now, often we try and start with what's easiest, or what someone's asked us to do, or what we feel like doing, and those are all well and good, but often when we do that, we get to the end of the day and we might have achieved, might have done 20 tasks, which are all good. We haven't chosen the one or completed the one task that would really have sort of given us sort of big achievement marks for that day, if you like. And that's where the whole frog quote comes in. You can spend your time looking at it, but actually what you need to do is put it front and centre and get it done in the day. So often as well, we can just focus on try and put 10 things on our to-do list or whatever it is. Before you do any of those, make sure the most important thing in your day, you think, yes, if I achieve this, I'm going to have a great day, is top of the to-do list, given the green energy or green best energy time of the day, and you get that done. Then after that, you can I suppose relax, and anything else becomes a bonus. So there you go, that's the third foundation. Be clear on what the most important thing of the day is, and get that done. Now, I've done a video here, the link will come up, that really looks at prioritising your tasks in the day and builds further on this concept of doing, making sure you've got the focus of the one thing. So to make your day the most productive, I recommend you having 3 foundations in place. The first foundation is about leveraging your times of your day where you have the most energy in order to do the most important things. The second foundation is to get the core things right: your sleep, your exercise, your eating. Make sure those are prioritised and you have a good rhythm with them in your life. And the third foundation is to make sure that you're doing the most important task of the day first and getting it done, the one thing. So I hope those are helpful. If you put all of those in place, or at least just one of them, I guarantee that your fruitfulness in the day, your productivity, your sense of achievement from the day will go up, and you'll be ending each day with a smile on your face rather than your head in your hands thinking, oh, I've wasted that day. So for my one last thing today, I want to focus on the aspect of committing to the day. Now, I think so often we can go into our days either resenting it, not wanting to go ahead with the day, or thinking of all the things that are going on. And what happens is, if you start the day off like that, you are more than likely to end the day thinking, oh, I haven't achieved what I wanted to do, because you haven't been fully invested in that day. So there's an importance to committing to that day, to think, right, these are things that I've set out in my mind that need to happen today. This is my one thing for the day, and commit to it. Really go for it. Don't hold back. Like I say, if we don't do that, we'll just kind of lethargically go through the day, and we'll get to the end and be disappointed. It's similar to being present as well. If you go to a meeting, it's better to be present and fully invested in that, rather than thinking of all the other things that you think you should be doing or rather be doing, because the value really comes of being present. It's the same thing. So being present in the day and committing to the day can make a huge difference. Even saying it out loud can really set you up for the day. Right, we're going to do this. I'm going to commit to this one thing today. So why not try that? And I hope that helps. So why not try and put one of these foundations in place today? Put it in place and see your fruitfulness and your productivity skyrocket. As you put one in place and successfully do that, put another one in place. So you've got all three foundations, which I guarantee you will make a difference to you. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I've shared today. Which of these principles or foundations you perhaps find the most difficult or to implement or to work through. I'd love to hear what you think in terms of foundations that you've put in place that really kind of help your productivity. So do that by putting them in the comments below, and I'll do my very best to come back to you and comment and help where I can. Please also subscribe, like and share this video. Check out my video here that again will help you in this journey to be more productive and fruitful. And be fruitful. I will see you in the next video.